his greatest asset as an artist is his ability to paint pictures and tell that story. He does that right now better than almost any rapper that I hear. And Duckworth, once again, consistently with what Kendrick does, is tell that story. And the importance of oral tradition and us telling our story, not his story. And he does that every time. And he makes you realize, it's like, look, as an artist, you're responsible to tell us your story as an artist. If you want us to understand you artistically, you need to tell us your story. Don't let these genres, these trends, determine what type of artist you are.
All right, back with Osiris Bali, the hip-hop historian. Kendrick Lamar just dropped a new album.
Yeah.
Been receiving a lot of praise. A lot of people are talking about Kendrick Lamar being top 5 lyricists of all time, solidified his spot with this album.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, the album was very creative. The album was very different from what you're hearing from hip-hop artists today. I kind of think that Kendrick Lamar was trying to send a message, and so do you.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly do you think the message Kendrick was trying to convey with fans, with this latest album?
Well, I think one thing that's like a reoccurring thing with Kendrick is, you can't put me in a box and say that, like, this is the type of artist I am, this is the type of rapper that I am, this type of MC I am. Every album gonna have a different feel than the last album. So you can't expect the next Good Kid, Mad City Part 2, next Section 80, the next To Pimp a Butterfly. It's always gonna be, he gonna be on the cusp of something new. But the message that I took away from it, and that's the message, that's why it's a significant album to me. The message I took away from it is the importance for us to continue the tradition of the oral tradition, the importance of us telling our own story. This album is like a story to me, you know what I'm saying? From track 1 to track 14, there's a story with it. You may not like the story, but the thing about it is you gotta respect the storyteller, because I'm telling you what I know or what I saw through my own eyes. That's the importance of it. And I think that's what he wanted to accomplish with it, is like, tell your own story. Even in the album, he talks, there's a lyric he says, I'm an Israelite, don't call me black no more. That word is just a color, that ain't fact no more. Okay? He basically, to me, the message in that lyric was, okay, of course he's talking about being a Hebrew Israelite, but at the same time, it's like, if you're gonna read this Bible seriously, then you seriously need to get into the history and the origin of the Bible, which is reading it in Hebrew, because things get lost in translation all the time. So if you don't want to respect the story or the storyteller enough to know the origin of things, then you really don't want to know the story. You can't take the other person's perspective about your story. We gotta get it from you. And so that's the significance in it. And then, to me, he has put himself as, to me, established himself in hip hop and in just music in general as one of the greatest storytellers. Good Kid, Mad City, the best song to me on that whole album and of his career is Sing About Me. Dope story. He paints a picture. He has a message. To Pimp a Butterfly, best song on the album to me, How Much a Dollar Costs. Great story, great message, great music. On this album, without a doubt in my mind, the best song on there is Duckworth. And he's telling the story about why he has been brought to prominence in hip hop, how it all began. I don't know if the story is particularly 100% fact, but he's basically saying, like, who would have thought that the greatest rapper would have came out of this situation that could have been a bad situation, but it turned into a positive situation. And it was easy to listen to that song. Man, the production on it, Ninth Wonder, he went and found a soul man in hip hop to do the music for him. So that brought out the story. That's why when the beat changed and all that type of stuff, it all blends perfectly. And that's why, to me, the album sounded better to me once I listened to it from backwards to beginning. when I started off with Duckworth and went back through the tracks all the way to Blood, I was like, okay, I get it. It's a pretty good album. Listening to it all the way up to Duckworth, I got lost in moments. Sometimes the production lost me. Sometimes what he wanted to convey over to certain songs was a little, I was like, okay, you losing me, Kendrick. You losing me. Then he'd bring me back in on a couple songs. But listening to it backwards, I kind of felt like I could understand the story of the album a little bit better. And the people do, like the subject matter on the album, he has topics that he's touching on. So you have to really pay attention to it. And then it was just ironic to me that the album had 14 tracks on it. You know, 7 is the number of completion. So he basically like, I think maybe he was playing with people a little bit. It's like, okay, there was rumors that he would drop another album on Easter. Maybe he just dropped 2 albums in one because he put 2 complete ideas together in one project, and that's why he ended up with 14. And 7 is the divine number, and so, you know, I think he just wanted to double up on that. That's why he keep on mentioning it in there. Now, I'm talking about these 14 tracks, you know, so. And each topic even is kind of like, you got like the topics like love and lust. You got something that, you know, kind of like, it's a conceptual album. I'm not saying it's his greatest work, but I see the significance of it.
Now we had conversation off camera.
Yeah.
And we talk about, is this album a classic? You know, I listened to a lot of interviews. You know, Rosenberg from Hot 97. You can say, you know, you can value his opinion or not.
Yeah.
You know, I think he was one of the first ones on mainstream, you know, public radio that say that, hey, you know, this album does it for Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? It puts him in that top 5 lyricists of all time. Yet you don't consider this album to be a classic.
Yeah, I don't. Nah, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, he told a story, like I said. Sometimes you don't like the storyteller, sometimes you don't like the story. You know what I'm saying? I think he could have done a little bit better with choosing some of the production a little bit better. The majority of the beats on the album, I don't think most rappers would be like, if a producer's playing you that, you really would want that beat. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you get lost sometimes. That's the same reason why we talked about it earlier. It's like a lot of people don't like Nas because of his production. If Nas had Rick Ross's production, I think Nas would be like in everybody's top 5. But he doesn't. He doesn't have that ear, or he has a different taste. You know, this right here ain't gonna be for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be for everybody's taste buds, because he knew he was doing something different with this, with the sound of it. You know, when Yah come on, that song Yah.
I like that song.
I mean, you know, it's okay, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the beat is gonna kind of lose people. That Feel song, you know, I don't know if you I like the dopeness of the lyrics he's spitting up in there, but you might not like the music in that. I fell asleep on Triple X. I was like, hey man, you know, it's kind of not my speed. But he is definitely, I will not argue with anybody if they say that he's one of the best lyricists in hip hop.
Well, so for some people, you may say that, you know, those beats, you may fall asleep on the beat.
Fell asleep on the song.
on the song. That's you.
I had to wake back up and listen to it.
I think that it takes an incredible amount of skill to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to choose this type of beat because the message, what I'm saying, I want you to feed on and hear every word that I'm saying versus just bopping your head to like this phenomenal beat. Sometimes the beat can overshadow the lyrics. So in Kendrick's mind, and I said this is what he did, maybe he picked certain beats so that y'all can pay attention to what he was saying, because a lot of times you can listen to your favorite song and just be like, what, dang, I didn't hear what he was saying because, you know, I was so tuned in to the dun, 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 you know what I'm saying, of the beats or whatnot.
Okay, well then,
that's what he was trying to do.
Okay, well then rap it a cappella. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to enlist the help of a producer if you want to do that. I've seen people like release tracks with like no music on it, and it's just vocals.
Yeah, that ain't hip hop though.
Freestyling is hip hop. We used to do that on the corner of the no beat.
Yeah, not on albums. So it's always something. It's always something to, you know.
But if you don't care about the music on the album as much, then maybe you just don't need to use the music. Let your voice be the expression that you wanna give to people. I mean, if you put some lackluster music on a song, people have no choice but to pay attention to the music as well. Every song that I've listened to that had like a dope beat and not dope lyrics, yeah, the dope beat got my head bumping. But if it had dope beat and dope lyrics, man, when I heard Nas do, they say we N-I-double-G-E-R. That beat came on, I was like, woo. Then Nas started spitting, I was like, it's like the music got me amped up to want to learn the lyrics too. So when I heard it, it was like, it was dope, man. When I heard like Black Thought tell that story on You Got Me, man, I was like, man, it's like, dude, he telling this story over this. That beat just make you just want to go, if you don't worry, you just listening to it. So I don't think that him choosing that type of beat necessarily was just a great idea on some of them songs. Like, but that's the beautiful thing about art. It's all left up to the viewer's discretion. That could have been beautiful production to him. I ain't saying the production was horrible. I just kind of say it was hard for me to listen to him and that production together.
We looked at this album. I'm gonna say that the songs that jump out, and this is my opinion.
Yeah.
DNA is a good one.
Yep.
I think I Like Ya.
Okay.
Feel is definitely a good album, a good song.
Like the lyrics on that.
Loyalty, the track with Rihanna.
I like it. I like
good.
it. I like it a lot.
Humble.
Humble, you know.
Release.
I like the visual to Humble more than I actually like the actual song, but Humble is a good song though.
And then the last two, Fear and Duckworth. I like those two.
Yeah,
So
Fear was like, it was a surprise to me. It was a surprise to me. I like it. You know, he talked about fear from a perspective of a child growing up, you know what I'm saying? And so that was a powerful song to me. And of course, like I said, Duckworth, his greatest asset as an artist is his ability to paint pictures and tell that story. He does that right now better than almost any rapper that I hear. And Duckworth, once again, consistently with what Kendrick does, is tell that story. And the importance of oral tradition and us telling our story, not his story. And he does that every time. And he makes you realize, it's like, look, as an artist, you're responsible to tell us your story as an artist. If you want us to understand you artistically, you need to tell us your story. Don't let these genres, these trends determine what type of artist you are. You are who you are. So if Lil Yachty want to be Lil Yachty, then just explain to me why you Lil Yachty. If you want to be Yo Gotti, then explain to me why you Yo Gotti. If you want to be T.I., if you want to be Nipsey Hussle, all of those people, tell us your story. That is his message to the artist. Tell us your story. Don't just make the music, you know?
Hey, ooh, hey.
I got money on my mind, Donald Trump toupee. Warren Buffett with the muffin ass creme brulee. Everybody ballin' till they fall quick, wasting loose change like you played in that Chuck E. Cheese ball pit.